Yeah. Welcome to Weddings Uncensored, where we drink coffee.
And sometimes alcohol.
And sometimes alcohol. and talk and drink. I'm Kyle.
And I'm Allie, and we are here breaking down the good, the bad, and the downright crazy of this whole wedding industry. Cheers. Cheers.
I gave you my mic to cheers, my bad.
Cheers.
So today we have a quick little episode on a wedding that we shot. Where was it at?
The Paramore Estate. I was coordinating.
I always want to call it the Paramount Estate.
I know. It's not. It's called the Paramore Estate.
I
was coordinating and Kyle was videoing. And probably the most, it was a very cool wedding overall, but probably the most popular element of the day was the tattoo artist at
it was sick.
The wedding.
And
it's probably my fourth wedding, I think, now that has had a real tattoo artist there. This is definitely a trend this year.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think it looks and it sounds so sick.
Yeah.
I mean, literally everybody at the wedding, minus a few other people, basically left the reception area to be like,
to be a part of it.
I want to get a tattoo. And obviously the couple has to get a tattoo.
Yep.
But we definitely learned some lessons and wanted to share those lessons about if you wanted to get a tattoo artist at your wedding.
Yeah.
Here's some things that you should probably know.
Things to consider.
It's
not a fit for everybody, you know, but I think like interactive and memorable experiences are definitely like, well, they're always popular with weddings, right? But like that's definitely a huge trend right now is like, how can we be cool and different and fun and whatever.
Make people be like, wow, that wedding was so sick.
Yeah. And so a tattoo artist is like totally a fun, vibey choice.
Yes.
But there's a few things to consider. I mean, it's not inexpensive. So, you know, knowing that, from my experience, the prices range quite a lot. A lot of tattoo artists are charging by the hour because it's not so much like, obviously these are not big tattoos that they're doing. It's how many hours are they going to be there?
Yeah.
And so talking to a tattoo artist about how many tattoos they can do in an hour, what does that mean? Because what is the size? What is the size of that tattoo?
And
how many people do you think will want to get tattoos at your wedding? And that's kind of a tricky thing because I think a lot of people, some people are like, oh my God, like everyone's going to want to get a tattoo, or like, I don't know, maybe a handful of people. So kind of figuring that out with the artist that you're interested in and making sure that you're booking them for the right amount of time.
Yep.
Knowing that it could be a bit of a distraction. Do you want people getting up during dinner to go get tattoos?
Yeah.
Is this just something that's available during dancing time?
I think it should be something that is available during cocktail hour as well.
Yeah.
Just because one of the biggest things I learned is not everybody's gonna get a tattoo. So like, how many people do you think actually got a tattoo? There was one tattoo artist. How many hours was she there for?
She was only there for 3 hours, but if she had been there longer, she would have done more. Like there was the sign up sheet was like 100 people.
I know.
Like everyone would have gotten one.
But how many in the 3 hours do you think she actually got?
I think she probably only did max like 18.
Okay. So we'll just divide that by 3. We'll call it 6 people per hour. That's pretty good. That's 10 minutes.
That's moving really fast. She was
Super
moving
fast.
really fast.
Really fast. I would probably say you need a buffer like 15 to 20 minutes per person.
For sure. Because the actual tattooing part is really fast. Like we're talking about doing really small tattoos.
Single, you're not doing a multiple like sizes.
Of course not. It's one
needle
option
size.
Yes. So, but if your tattoo artist is doing things proper, which they should obviously be doing things proper, they're also being sanitary. They're wiping down their station. They're getting new needles. Like, so the tattoo might take 3 minutes to do, but it's taking another 10 minutes in between to swap out the station and everything.
And you also don't want to rush a tattoo artist either.
No.
Like that, I mean, I would feel pressure literally of like, yes, you have to be sanitary, you have to be quick, and you have to, and this thing is going on somebody's body forever.
Yeah. So make sure
so you don't want them to rush.
No, and make sure it's a tattoo artist who has done events, like not necessarily who has done weddings, because this is kind of a new trend, right? So it's not like many tattoo artists are gonna be like, yeah, I've done a million weddings. But there are tattoo artists that do events. So pop-ups, or if they go to tattoo conventions, they're used to not
used
being
to
in
it.
their shop. And I think that's super important.
Yep.
So finding someone that kind of knows what that flow is like. A couple more tips are from the successful tattoo artist events that I've done is if they have an assistant, that is helping a lot. So we've had, I did a wedding recently that had the tattoo artist and then they had their assistant. The assistant was running like a sign-up sheet and they would take the person's name and their phone number. So they actually had the tattoo artist running the whole time, not just during party time.
Oh, that's so smart.
They were able to text whoever was next.
That's so smart.
And then say, so even if it was during dinner, it's not like everyone's leaving. They just, okay, I'll text you and you're only gone for 5 minutes and then you're going back. So if it's important to you to have them there for a longer amount of time, I think it's okay. But just know that having a sign-up sheet and having somebody to help with that is going to be really important.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to help as a coordinator
And that's
with
not your
another
job.
wedding. No, and I
It's
thought
not your job.
way too much shit going on.
There's other things that you can be doing. Or, I mean, God forbid you want to take a break for literally 3 minutes on a wedding day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think that made it a lot smoother. The one wedding I did where they did have an assistant, but yeah, absolutely a sign up sheet, absolutely making sure they're small. And then every wedding I've done so far, they basically have a sheet of, the tattoo term is like flash. So these are 6 options of what you get. There's one size option. These are it. Maybe there's something that is
we're not adding anything.
Yeah, but usually those designs are something that represent the couple, that represent the location. No one's coming in there asking for anything custom. How do we make it really simple and cool?
Grandma got tatted, and the couple was like, they never thought grandma would ever get.
It was
tatted.
her first tattoo ever. She was like 80 years old.
She got it on her arm too. I was
cool.
like, yo, grandma, this is kind of hard right here.
It was really, really cool. The video's hilarious. We have to. Do you get it?
I have a
She's
clip.
like, she's making all these faces, but she
I
was
didn't get
badass.
that. I have a clip of her like at the end.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh
That's
my
so
God.
funny.
That's awesome though. Yeah, I was stoked to see her get it, and I think it was more stoked to see the couple reaction too. Of like,
oh, they were.
You got one?
Yeah,
they were thrilled.
Well, and so I think on that same note, again, like thinking about where you're putting it and the timing and all of that is important because this particular couple definitely thought that they were going to have like the dance party of the century.
Oh yeah.
But was in a totally different space from where the tattoo artist was placed, and everybody just wanted to watch people get tattooed.
Yeah.
So it did split up the party a little bit.
It did.
Whereas I've done weddings where the tattoo artist is like almost on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And then that really is like lively and vibey, but also consider talking to your tattoo artist about that. Like that means it's going to be dark. It's going to be loud. Like it is really tricky to find the right location within the space.
Yeah. I was, the area that we were in, was it the cocktail hour? It could look like a speakeasy area.
Yeah.
But like, basically there was one room for the dancing and then you go down a hall and then there's another larger room for where the tattoo artist was and where cake cutting was.
Right.
Another separate room. So this room was pretty big. But I think like 90% of the guests were not in the reception, like dancing area.
Yeah.
They were in the tattoo. But I'm like, yo, of the 3 hours that she was there, knowing only 18 people probably got tattoos, which is still a lot for one tattoo artist and no assistant.
But they had 160 people at the wedding.
Yes, and at least 120 people in that room.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Only a tenth of those people that want, and almost everybody in that room
would have gotten a tattoo.
Would have gotten a fucking tattoo. Seriously, like everybody. I saw the sign up list within the first 5 minutes of her getting there. The front was already was already full.
I just took away the sign up sheet at one point. I was like, y'all aren't getting tattoos.
But then because there was no sign up sheet, I saw people literally just standing in front of her because there was like, they were just like, I'm just gonna fucking go for it, you know. And the couple did the right thing by them. They paid for, or family, whoever paid for it, it's their wedding. Yeah, they totally cut and got their tattoos as they needed to. Yeah. But that's another thing to consider too, is like, if you want a tattoo, you need to have that on the timeline because the tattoo artist is going to need to know. The tattoo artist needs to make sure, at 8:30 the couple's coming over here. Yeah. I can't take another tattoo artist because they're going to be coming over here shortly.
Yeah, and you probably want to make sure that that's captured for photo or video too. 100%. So making sure it's on the timeline, absolutely. Yep. So
I was literally there, and I stayed 10 minutes past the time just because he wanted that on film.
Yep.
And this was a couple that didn't even get a highlight video. They got the raw wedding footage, the raw wedding collection. I was stoked for him. But like this isn't even going in a highlight video. It's
Yeah.
literally just he wanted that quick little moment.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, even moments like that, if you want this done, it has to be on the timeline.
To summarize, though, I think, you know, making sure that the tattoo artist is experienced with events, whether or not that's weddings or not, and they know what to expect. Thinking about the amount of time that they're going to be there and how many they can complete in that time. Thinking about the location within the venue that makes sense. And if you're going to have them within the party or if it's going to end up splitting the party and if you're okay with that. Absolutely adding it to the timeline of when the couple is going to get their tattoos, making sure that that is captured properly by the professional photo video team, and then making sure that you feel really good about those designs and, you know, picking, like looking at that as a really fun opportunity as a couple to being like, oh, this is so cool. Like he's from the beach and I'm from the mountains. So we have this cool, you know, pine tree with an ocean, whatever it is, you know? And so I think it's a really awesome, like very fun, successful, unique thing to add to your wedding day. But like all fun, unique things, it is not without its own challenges.
Can't take the good without the bad.
There you go. I think that's it.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Tattoos.
See you next Tuesday.
Peace.
Hey, you did it this time.